All right, so okay, so we just stuck some water in the radiator just to see what would happen, and we've got several leaks. The radiator itself has a slight leak. The water pump has a steady drip, and the heater valve on the side of the engine block has a big leak. I had replaced that with a spare that I had a while back because the one that was on it was completely corroded away. This is it right here. And I just stuck it on there and forgot about it. Didn't use a gasket, so I'm gonna need a gasket for that. The water pump, hard to see right there, it's leaking right there. And then the radiator is leaking a bit as well. So that was a big fail. So we've got quite a bit of work to do to get it watertight so that we can start it for more than just a minute or two at a time. Okay, we're about to take the heater control valve off. I've got a whole bag of gaskets here. We'll see if one of them fits. Still have to run to the auto parts store and get some gasket maker. Even if I can't find a gasket that fits, I'll just use gasket maker to seal it up. I'm gonna grab a can of radiator stop leak and hope for the best. The leaks in the radiator, there seems to be a couple of them. They seem to be pretty small. We'll see if it stops the leak or not. If not, we're going to end up having to buy a new radiator, and that's going to take a bit. So let's go ahead and get this off. These are the bolts on here are 7/16, but of course the way this valve is, you can't get a socket in here. So I've got to take it off with a wrench. As soon as I get this off, we can check my bag of gaskets and see if we have one for it. All right, there we go. So that's it there. Let's see what we got. Okay, went to the hardware store, got some Permatex RTV, and I got the water pump and thermostat housing, since the heater valve does have water coolant going through it. Also got some gasket material. Had to buy an entire sheet and only use that little tiny bit of it. Went ahead and made a gasket. So we should be ready to go now. Should be able to put that on there, and hopefully it won't leak. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is clean these bolts off real quick. They're in such a hard spot to get to, and I have to use a wrench because I can't use a socket, because it's almost impossible to get to here. I don't think it's even big enough to use a swivel socket. Could possibly use a 1/4 inch drive, but that would entail digging in my shed. It's about 120 degrees right now, so we'll just put it on with a wrench. All right. Go ahead and spray the threads down with a little bit of PB Blaster. I've already sprayed PB Blaster in the holes that these go in. All right. Let's go ahead and get our PV compound here. the heater valve, a thin coat of RTV. Keep it out of the water passage. Put the gasket on. Get another thin coat. All right, got a coat on this side. And we'll go ahead and get this started. Where's the 5/16?
Okay. Can I squeeze it?
Go ahead. Flip it over. Flip it over. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. You don't want that pointed to where you can get to it. Go ahead. All right, let's add some more water and see what we have again.
Nothing.
All right, let's go ahead and do a crank real quick and see if we got any other water leaks. It's leaking from this hose right here. I think. Let me get over there. Yeah, it's just a very small leak, but let me look at it.
Yeah, it's like, do you think it's screwed on correctly? Like all the way?
It's this hose is busted, I think. So we'll need a new hose, but it's good enough for now to start. Let's,
do you think it'll spray out everything?
We're gonna find out. Go ahead and crank it.
Like you need to like spray it in?
Go ahead.
And now this is leaking bad. Like I think this itself is now leaking.
No, it's just dripping down.
It
from
just drips right here.
The water's running downhill from this hose. Yeah, hook that back up.
That good?
Yeah, go ahead and crank it. Too bad though. Yeah. That's nice and warm. Uh-uh. No. Where is the water temperature sensor? Because the temperature gauge does not work. Let's see. Right here.
And it flips around here.
And that is green-blue.
Yeah, green blue. I just want schematics. I think this is green light. It probably could. I don't see it.
Look at that. See, this wire's been chewed up there. That's not blue though, I don't think.
That's like green light.
I'm sure it goes up. Look. See all them cut wires right there? Like the wiring harness that goes back in there? That's not good. So, we've got a bunch of wires in the wiring harness that are cut. And I'm willing to bet one of them, that one on the right probably, is the green-blue wire that goes to the temperature gauge. Boy, how in the world am I going to get to all those wires to fix them? They're way up in there. Yeah, that's difficult.
You're probably gonna have to like take this thing off. Like you're gonna like take it off and then.
All right, so. Anyways, this was a somewhat of a success. The heater valve itself is not leaking over here at all, but the hose is. This hose is old and rotted, and it's cut, so it's dripping very slowly. So we'll have to replace that.
1 week later.
All right, what we're about to do now is go ahead and pull the water pump off and fix the leak that it has. We decided to just go ahead and tackle it now instead of waiting till later when it becomes more of a problem. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to pull the radiator out to get to the water pump, which is back down in there. So the bolts are pretty rusty and crusty, so it's gonna be a little bit of a task doing it, but hopefully we'll get it done. Here we go. So first thing we need to do is take the radiator hoses off. We'll take the upper hose off first and then go to the lower hose. Sure, most of it missed the bucket.
Yeah, all of it did.
Par for the course. All right. It's just water anyways. Huh? Yes, it is rust-colored water. But in the end, it's just water. Now we can take the fan off.
Oh.
With the bolts right here. Once we get the fan off, this pulley should come off, and then we can get to the water pump bolts there, and I think down there as well, and pull the water pump off. It does look like the alternator is tied into the water pump, so gonna need to remove that bolt also. Let's start with these. These look like 7/16. Let me go get a 7/16. This one is really on there good. There we go. That PV blaster is working it loose.
Washer, don't lose the washer.
It's got a ways to go before it'll come out. There we go.
So this one's won't even have to stick out. Insert. There's a PB blaster all on this.
It's greasy. Part of being a mechanic is getting your hands dirty. Pull it straight out. There you go. All right.
Okay. That thing is musty, crusty.
The MGs rust so much they actually put a PV blaster holder right in the engine compartment.
Wait, is it a PB blaster holder?
That's the windshield washer bottle holder. There goes a bolt. See that? All right, so you can see right here the head of the bolt just snapped off when I was trying to pull this alternator off. What I was saying was I've already rotated the bracket down. This bolt is already out, and I'm about to pull this bolt out right here, and then we should be able to rotate the alternator over and slide it off of that corroded bolt, and then hopefully I'll be able to get that bolt out of there without too much trouble. So, but that's another trip to the auto parts store and hardware store.
We can also get this there.
All right, set that back up over there. Now it's time to get this bolt off. Go ahead and pull this temperature sensor line out of the way. Okay, that's nice. I like them when they break free like that. Oh yeah, there goes the alternator.
Oh yeah, I did it.
Okay.
The alternator?
That's what I'm afraid of. We're about to look here. Let me get this bracket off. All right, so there's the problem. Well, this alternator's crusty. God. All right, something else we'll be working on while we have it out. Nice. Okay. All right. Now our next thing we're going to do is get the water pump bolts off.
What is it?
And pop the water pump off.
Yeah, what is it?
They're all 1/2 inch. So we got 1, 2. Of course, the third one's right behind the pulley. So that's going to have to be done with a wrench. And then 4 is down there kind of behind the pulley also. All of them are kind of behind the pulley actually. So I think most of these are going to be with a wrench.
Yay! Ooh,
All right.
look at that.
That is a crusty impeller. For now, we're going to scrub this up and scrub up the front of the block. And yeah, there's a bit of scale in there, but it's not too bad. It's not the worst I've seen. So now would be a nice time to pressure wash the front of this, get all the gunk and corrosion off of it. We may do that here real quick. Let's go get it done. Okay, unfortunately there's no water pumps in my stash, so we're gonna have to clean up the one that was already on here, even though the impeller is quite crusty. It was pumping water before, so because the radiator got nice and warm when we let it run, so it should be okay. It's just not ideal. I do have a new gasket for the water pump housing. I did find it in my bag of gaskets, so we're good there. I don't have to make one. All right, gotta clean off. You got to get all of the old RTV off, Lachlan. You can't leave any of it on there because you need to have a really good mating surface for the gasket and RTV to mate to, so it seals. Okay, we got the water pump all cleaned up as best we could. I got a lot of the scale off of it. There's still some in there, but the water seems to flow freely. Doesn't seem to be any issues with it, so we're going to reuse it. If I had access to another one, I'd probably go ahead and swap it out. But they're not all that hard to get to, so it's not that big a deal. Did have a gasket in my basket gag. So we're good with that. And I've got my Permatex water pump and thermostat housing gasket maker. So we've got the front of the engine cleaned up best we could. So So we're gonna go ahead and put this together. Let's do it. Okay, first thing to do, test fit the gasket, make sure how we're gonna put it on. That's the right way right there, everything lines up. We're good to go there. So let's get our gasket maker and my little impromptu spatula. Get it on there before it completely tacks up. All right. This. And on in. Okay, next problem that we created for ourselves is this bolt right here is seized. It, as you can see, the head snapped off, so we're going to have to replace it. I need to see if I can get the bolt out of the alternator. I don't know if it's threaded in there or not. It doesn't look like it is, judging by this one. That's just a smooth thing, so I should be able to just punch it out. So let's spray it with a little bit of PV blaster, and then I'll try and punch it out. Okay.
Two days later.
Okay, it's a couple days later now. Ended up having to get a new alternator. Took a couple days to come in. When we took the alternator off, one of the bolts broke and was stuck in the ear of the alternator in here. And trying to get it out, in the process of trying to get it out, ended up breaking the ear off. Not very happy about that, but what can you do? So got a new alternator and getting ready to put it together, and then we'll put it in the car. All right.
Does it go too wide? Doesn't go on it? Nope. Okay. All right. That there for half a second. Let's clean these bolts off. You know what? I'm just gonna put it in.
I'm gonna clean these off in on my grinder in there.
Oh.
All right, clean the bolts up. Almost like new now. I see. Okay. There we go.
I'm not using nice. To hold anything.
That's neat. That has a little retainer for holding the holding that in place. Ooh. That the original one didn't have. Putting the fan back on now.
Can I screw it in?
Let me get it started.
Okay. Okay, I'll go get Baby Dato.
Hold on. First thing we need to do before that is find the hose clamps. Make sure we have the right hose clamps.
I can see the front door. So now the radiator's in and now we're done?
The radiator's in.
We're not done though.
Now we need to put the coolant and the stop leak in. We're about to put the coolant in. We've got everything finished. Getting ready to put some coolant in. And we're also going to put some copper radiator stop leak in to see if it'll stop that small leak that's in the radiator. All right, let's do it. Watch for leaks. Lachlan.
Here, I'll get the creeper. Getting. I found a washer and a screw.
Yeah, just spilled it. Dang it.
Yeah, I found a washer and a screw.
Okay.
No leaks. Just put the leak stuff in. Oh well. I spend starting fluid?
No, we don't need starting fluid.
Okay. I already ran without it.
Just need to choke it. All right, go ahead. As you can see right there, somebody loaded the back of the radiator up with JB weld trying to stop a leak, and
Did not happen.
still leaking, obviously. The radiator seal didn't seem to stop it either, so new radiator is going to be on the list as well. Okay, that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. We have a working cooling system now, though we have a few issues still. We're going to replace the radiator pretty soon. I did source a replacement aluminum radiator that we should be able to get pretty soon. Same thing with the water pump. O'Reilly's has the water pump that I can get next day, so we'll be replacing that as well eventually. But for now, the cooling system is working enough for us to move on. In our next episode, we're going to be working on the interior. We're going to gut the old interior out, and we're going to put our new seats in. Before that, though, we'll need to do some repairs on the floor. We might work on some of the gauges, get a few of those things running, do a little bit of the wiring that we're going to need to do to get those gauges running. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a like, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. You can turn the notifications on so you get notified whenever we put a new video out. We hope to have the interior video out within a week or so. But until then, we hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye.